What is going on, everybody? We are back with another CCW review. I am Nick.
And I am Joe.
And I am readjusting my mic. My apologies. And we are talking about AEW Dynamite. This is for December, I think, 10th. That's where we were at.
You are correct.
And they're in Atlanta. Hot Atlanta. And let me tell you, one of the best crowds for an AEW show in a long time. I was really happy with the way they sounded in there. Apparently, that's Atlanta's WNBA arena. So
Really, it didn't look that big.
Well, yeah, it's WNBA.
Hey man, around here we fill out NBA arenas, okay?
Sometimes. If it's WWE.
On occasion. No, I mean our WNBA team is pretty popular because of one player, but you know.
Well, now.
Yeah, but they still play at the field house.
To be fair, the Fever always end up with the player of the league. Like we had Leslie for a while.
We didn't have Leslie. We had Tamika Catchings.
Catchings was her name. You're right. I couldn't remember. Listen, again, WNBA. It's what it is.
There you go. True fan right there.
Absolutely. Listen, I root for them like I root for our college teams. I don't pay that much attention, but I hope they get it. Good job.
Hey, go Hoosiers.
Right? And we've got, I believe, I didn't write it down this time, but I believe it was Bryan Danielson, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone in commentary.
That is correct.
With an occasional appearance by Don Callis.
Yes, because he has something important to say.
Never. Although he had the funniest line of the night. We'll get to that later. We start off with, I'm just going to say it, my stinker match of the night. I mean that loosely because I didn't actually think it was that bad. I actually thought the wrestling on this entire show was pretty good. Not great, but pretty good.
I don't know if this would be my stinker. I didn't really get into the Jack Perry Okada match.
I did. But we'll get there.
But it was fine for what it was.
I will say the longer this match went, the more I was rooting for the Babes of Wrath because I went into this not really having a care who won.
Me too.
But the more I watched it, the more I was like, man, I really hope the Babes of Wrath win because I really don't want to see Mina Shirakawa as champion right now because I don't think she's really all that great.
I think she's a little overrated as well.
I think she's sloppy. I don't think she's bad. I just think she's sloppy. Which could be bad.
I agree.
People. But
I agree. I think she's a little green.
There's this really goofy figure four spot where Willow and Tony take turns rolling the two that are in the ring over to get advantage.
Yep.
Willow eventually grabs Tony and puts her in an Indian deathlock, and then the four of them, just for Joe, sit in the middle of the ring taking turns slapping each other.
Slap fight.
Harley ends up hitting her spinning something finisher, which is just a crossroads, kind of. And then Willow hits a gut-rich powerbomb on Mina to get the pin, and they get the win. And we have our first AEW Women's Tag Team Champions.
And who cares?
I do. I think it's neat.
Belts that were needless. Didn't need them.
I don't think they're needless. I think it would be a lot better if they didn't look just like the men's.
Why? That's how the Big Show does it. That's how the WWE does it.
Yeah,
Just put them with white straps.
No, I hate it. I've always hated it. In fact, the only way I would have considered it okay in the WWE is if they'd at least would have switched the shows that they were on. But no. The same designed belts are on the same shows. It's so dumb.
Yeah, the one type of title has to be on one show, and the other type of titles need to be on the other show.
They give a post-match speech. I'm happy for him. You could tell.
I am too.
You could tell O-Girl was pretty emotional. She was.
Harley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was caught up. Faces come in. that'd be they're all faces.
Well, they were all baby faces, yeah.
But Tony,
so the other team comes in.
Yeah, Tony and Mina come in and shake their hands, give them hugs, congratulate them. They continue to do this backstage later, but we'll get there.
Yeah. They tried really hard.
They did.
This match came across very choreographed.
Yeah. Backstage, Joe congratulates Eddie on the fact that this is the real Joe. So you already have the real Joe.
That's right. He's on your podcast every day. We do a podcast.
The man Eddie looked up to is a good idea, but the man that's going to beat his ass tonight's the reality of what the industry is. Which I thought was a pretty neat little sentence.
Yeah, I much prefer this Joe than the whiny heel Joe.
The whiny, screamy Joe.
Yeah, don't care for that at all.
Me too. Get back to liking wrestling. No, I'm kidding, guys. I'm just...
That's a bitch move.
It is. Listen, we've been friends for how long?
We're approaching...
Should have seen it coming.
We're approaching 25 years? No, I knew you before.
It's been a long time. Not quite long enough to throw a gym into the ocean, but we're getting there.
Yeah, we're on the other side of 25.
Yep.
So between 25 and 30, I don't know. Long enough to not be able to put a fucking concrete number on it.
That is true. So, we get our first Gold League C2 match of the night. Actually, I think this is the only Gold League match. I think the other one's a Blue League. It doesn't matter. The leagues are kind of a joke.
No, the Fletcher match was a Gold League match as well.
I thought he was blue. It could be gold.
The Gold League's happening on Dynamite, and the Blue League's happening on...
they're mixing them up.
Yeah, but it seems like there's more Gold League on Dynamite than there is Blue League.
Right. We get Jack Perry versus Kazuchika Okada. I hope Jack's ankle's okay after that dive. He landed a bit funny. But then I began to think he was actually honestly just selling it throughout the match because, like...
Yeah.
He looked like he was moving perfectly fine, and then out of nowhere, he would randomly start selling the ankle.
Right.
It's like, figure it out, man. Figure it out. Jack went to go do a submission and got bit. Jack repaid it by biting him in the dick. I put LMAO, what? This was an all-cap sentence.
Okada had him in the tombstone, and then Okada just starts making this weird face, and he kind of drops him and starts grabbing his crotch, and it's like, really? You bit the man in the dick?
I don't know if I'd have done that as a wrestling move.
Yeah, and if you're Okada, why not just hurry up and drop him on his fucking head?
Right.
Logic. But, yeah, there was a lot of biting spots in this show.
There was only 3.
In a 2-hour show.
2 of them were in this match.
Yeah, overdone.
Jack puts him in the snare trap, but Okada scoots really fast towards the ropes. After we get a hope spot and a couple of rainmakers, Okada gets the win. There was a flow to tonight that I noticed. So the Babes of Wrath were considered the underdogs. And they got their win. This match, Kazuchika Okada was the obvious winner, and he did win. And we'll play into that more soon. I actually thought over and above all, Jack looked pretty decent this match.
It was fine. Nothing like great, but it was fine.
The last couple minutes of the match, I really enjoyed. Like once Okada really started laying in his, like there was a point in time where Okada was really laying in his moves and actually looked mad. Now I don't think he was actually mad, but it actually looked like he was putting in an effort. For once.
He does every now and again.
So it was fun to see him get a flash of that. Surprised that it happened during a match with Jack, but was happy to see it nonetheless. I do hope that Jack's ankle's all right. Post match, Don tries to recruit Jack, Jack says that for the second time tonight, he might be biting off a little more than he could chew. I chuckled.
Yeah, that was a good line. And then the best line of the night was when so Jack starts fighting them all, and then Luchasaurus comes off, and Tony Schiavone screams into his microphone, "Look, look at the dinosaur."
See, my favorite line was actually during the match, right after he bit Okada in the crotch. Callis says something along the lines of, "I don't know what you call it, but that's assault."
Yeah, Don Callis. Yeah,
I usually dislike Don Callis, but that was a fun moment.
Yep. Look at the dinosaur. I don't know if he said like, "Look at the what did I text? What did I message you?" Because I did it in the moment. But it's like, "Look at the dinosaur run" or something stupid. It made me laugh out loud.
It was just look at the dinosaur.
Was it? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I yelled, "Look at the dinosaur." It's so stupid.
Luchasaurus makes it to the ring. Doesn't look like he wants to go into the ring, but then the Bucks creep in from behind. And then the Bucks and the dinosaur work together to take out everybody in the ring. For some reason, Don Callis slides back into the ring.
Yeah, for no fucking reason at all.
The Bucks take the money from him, and then as they were about to super kick Callis, Talk came from out of nowhere.
Take the bullet for him.
And ate the foot. And then the heels escape, and the faces keep the money.
Yep.
Backstage, a bunch of people are celebrating the Babes of Wrath. A bunch of people.
It was a conglomeration.
Oh, it wasn't even the conglomeration, because it was just.
It looked like it was most of them, though.
No. So there were only two people back there at first with her. It was Mark and Roddy, which made me laugh because I'm like, why is Roddy there for? And so everybody, so like Mark's cheering for her because it's him, Willow, and Harley. And he's like excited for him, and he's doing this thing where he's showing that he's excited for him. They're cheering, they're jumping around in circles. Roddy looks like he wants to vomit, which is amazing. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes Tony and Mina to celebrate some more, and then it was over. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Fun times.
It was so brief, I didn't even realize all that was happening. I just saw like the two people from the conglomeration and just assumed the rest of it was the conglomeration.
Backstage, Kingston's being interviewed by Renee. Today is the 50th anniversary of Terry Funk winning the world's title. He's like, I'm not going down easy. We get an in-ring segment. Mark Briscoe comes to the ring. Mark says that he has a lot of doubters, but he's the champ and they can kiss his ass. Big white ass, actually. So then Yuta.
I feel it was directed like specifically at me.
Me too. Yuta starts to talk shit from the crowd. I wanted to turn my TV off, but I did not.
Yeah.
He's got Garcia and Shafir with him. Garcia says looking at Mark makes him sad, but when he wins Saturday, he becomes two-time champ, and Mark's gonna two times TNT champ, and Mark's gonna find out how he's going to have to find out how he's going to provide for his family with a broken neck. Mark says if he's brave, make a move. He pushes Mark. Mark punches him, and then the heels leave.
Yeah, Mina and Yuta scooped him up and held him back and drug him out of the ring.
He wanted to fight, but they would not let him.
He kind of looked like a little bitch. We'll see what happens.
Backstage segment. This is the only thing throughout the entire night that I thought was absolutely pointless. We get another Triangle of Madness moment where they're hurting people backstage. And then Chris comes from out of nowhere, smacks them all a little bit, and they all run off once she grabs a chair. It's like, all right. My cat.
Looks like Tekla's going to be Stat's next challenger.
I'm down for that. I just wish it would stop being built through small, pointless fucking...
Well, they got to do the tag match first with her and Hayter.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
And then we get the Tornado tag match, which is Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs versus Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. Listen,
And this was for you and not me.
I was all in from the very beginning, fam. Like,
I toned it out because it was a lot.
Hobbs and Page coming in through the crowd looking like absolute badasses.
Didn't bother me. All the jabronis that got in the way bothered me. It was too much.
They sent the Opps sent the Opps sent the dojo in after him, and they were just punching him with the chains and using staple guns on him. I was super excited for.
The dojo didn't even exist like 3 weeks ago, and now they use them all the time.
They do. And now they're here. So it is what it is. The fight goes into the concession area, which has been a while since we've seen a good concession fight. So people get put through tables. Paige has a beer.
And he slams a beer.
Yeah, he does. And then they go to commercial break. And when they come back, they're back at the ring. So they must have beelined it during the commercial break. This match finally officially starts. After they start teaming up, we get a stare down between because they do a couple of like actual real legit like cool tag team moves. Paige and Swerve do.
Swerve.
And then we get after that happens, we get a stare down between the two of them because obviously, you know, everybody who watches this should know their history at this point.
They're frenemies.
At this point, absolutely. I think they'd make an excellent tag team. That's for sure. But they're too big to be in a tag division at this point in their careers. Not that stopped wrestlers before. So they end up helping each other put Hobbs through a table on the outside of the ring. It was pretty rough bump there for Hobbs.
Yeah.
And then they hit a buckshot and a house call and got the win. I had a lot of fun. It was just one big brawl, which is, you know, one of my favorite things.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot to this match.
No, just brawling.
Yep.
Your standard Stone Cold style affair. A lot of brawling.
Yeah, it was fine.
I did want to note, Swerve looks like he's gained some muscle in his time off. He's looking a little bigger than he did before he left.
Good. That's what you do when you're off, is you get in really, really good shape.
Let's just hope it doesn't slow him down, too, though.
Well, plus, you know, if he was getting his knees worked on, the only thing he could work out was the upper body.
Right.
And plus the rehab for the knee.
Backstage, after saying... Okay, so this annoyed me. I didn't hate this, but it annoyed me. So Callis, during the... what was it? The match that he was calling earlier in the night. Was talking about having the money. And the announcers were like, yeah... are you ever going to give the Bucks their portion of the money? And he's like, possession's 9/10 of the law, Shivani. So this comes back, and during this backstage segment, he says, possession isn't 9/10 of the law. And I'm like, you just said it was.
Contradictions. That's what heels do.
But this is stupid. It's a stupid contradiction. It makes him look stupid.
He's a heel. He, by default, is stupid. But not as stupid as babyfaces. Babyfaces are the ultimate idiot.
Right. He says he wants a 3-on-3 for the money. His 3 men versus the Bucks and someone of their choice. And I put probably Omega, which I was right.
Well, who else would it have been? They teased the dinosaur, but that wasn't going to work.
Backstage, Stokes says the world's most dangerous narcotic isn't in the streets. It's the camera. It causes people to believe they deserve and can win championships. This was actually a really good promo cut by Stoke. I was not expecting this from him.
Yep.
He says next...
Stoke can be a good talker. He just gets a little carried away.
He says next week on Dynamite, they'll get their title shots. When they lose, FTR will have cured them of their addiction.
Back to the back of the line.
I was like, that was a good promo. That was a good job, Stoke. 1 out of like every 5 of your talking segments are really good, and that was one of them.
At least he didn't say it was the best day in his life.
He might have. I might have just forgot about it.
I don't remember him saying it.
I think he did. Benefit of the doubt, though, he probably did.
Yeah, he could
have. And then we get what might be so far my favorite match in the entire tournament.
I don't know if I'd go that far. It was a bonkers match, though. It was the match of the night easily.
We get Speedball Mike Bailey versus Kyle Fletcher.
The Shoeless Wonder.
Guys, I don't even know how to necessarily tell you guys about things that happened in this match.
Lots of false finishes.
It's so good.
Not egregiously so. I think they did the exact right amount of them.
Right. And funny enough, I think the right person won. I think in the long term, obviously Speedball's not going to be a major player towards the end of this tournament.
Sure.
But it at least knocks Kyle Fletcher down a little bit so that it's more neck and neck between him and Okada later.
Yeah, nobody's going undefeated.
Right. And this gives everybody the thought, along with the opening match where the Babes of Wrath won. This is where I was talking about the psychology of the show. A thought that anything can happen. So maybe, just maybe, we can get a new world champion tonight. Maybe.
Just maybe. Unlikely, but just maybe.
But no, this was so there was a spot where Kyle Fletcher body slammed Bailey on the barricade while they were both standing on top of it. It absolutely left a huge mark on Speedball's back.
Well, it's because he didn't land on the barrier. He hit the barrier as he rolled to the floor.
Right. He caught the corner of the barrier.
Yep.
With 5 minutes left, listen, this is how my typing was. I said 5 minutes left. I thought Bailey was going to get the win after hitting the first spin kick. They gave him so much. They gave him so much offense at the end. I bit every time he went for the pin. Now remember, he does go on to win. So of course, I look silly because it is what it is. I applaud Fletcher, by the way, for making sure when he hit his apron powerbomb this time, he made sure that the dude was going to land on that. Like, he kind of arced it and even tossed him a little bit to make sure he was going to land on that fucking apron, dude, and not catch it with the back of his head.
Yep.
And then I put in all caps, "Oh my God!" Speedball ended up crossing Fletcher's arms during the roll up, and he gets the win. And also as a little bit of in-ring psychology, you could. It was really cool to see that. With it being less than 5 minutes, Fletcher was trying to rush to get the pin, and that's inevitably what ended up getting him caught up.
He sold shocked very well as well.
Yep. But no, I popped, I cheered, legit out loud, verbally cheered and clapped my fucking hands at the end of this match. It was so good.
I didn't do all that, but I was like, oh, I see what you're doing there.
Backstage, Adam Page says that he wants that title back and he wants next, which I'm pretty sure so does Swerve. So we'll see how all that plays out. Again, I think we're going to get a 3-way dance between them and Joe.
Yeah. You've been calling it for a few weeks. I wouldn't be surprised.
Backstage, the Bucks said they need a partner. They asked Luchasaurus. He growls and then says no.
And then points. Like a good dinosaur.
Like a good dinosaur. To Kenny's locker room. Kenny says he doesn't want the money. The Bucks look sad. And he's like, but you know what? If you guys are fighting against Don Callis and his family, I'll do it for free. And I was like, meh. What are you doing? Who's fighting who? Psycho
Cat
Cats.
fight.
Psycho Cats. And then we get our main event, the AEW World Heavyweight Championship match, Samoa Joe versus Eddie Kingston. Very early in the match, Hook got booted from ringside.
Pretty much immediately.
Yeah, he grabbed Kingston's leg on a rebound from an Irish whip. The ref saw him and kicked him out. Now, I Did not take notes for this match because this is around the time I was more working than anything. However, while waiting for you to finish the show, I rewatched this match. Just to make sure I could talk about it. Obviously, I knew who won going back into it. But, again, I actually think it's a very well-wrestled match.
Yeah, I have no complaints.
Kingston's finally getting back into, like, actual in-ring shape. Yep. I love that he did lose some weight because he doesn't look as ill-built as he used to.
Agreed. He moves a lot better as well.
Yeah, he does. We called the end last week when they made the announcement of the match. It was definitely spinning elbow into Kakita clutch. Like, we knew how that was going to end. But they had some good hope spots. There were actually times where you could almost be like, oh, he might actually win this. And then, never mind.
He was slapping the shit out of Joe.
Oh, then Joe was slapping the shit out of him back. Dude, there was that segment where he slaps Joe a few times and like hits a chop and a few slaps, and then Joe returned it right after, but did like a little bit more. I was like, they're slapping the shit out of each other.
Yep.
It was a good match though. A good TV match.
Yeah, it was fine,
and I enjoyed it.
This Dynamite was fine.
I don't think the Dynamite
had one really good match, and it was just okay after that.
I don't think the Dynamite was as good as the Collision from Saturday.
Oh no, that Collision's an all-timer.
But I do think the Dynamite was pretty good tonight. Mix it in with tonight's Dynamite, Raw, and then last Collision. We are probably on one of the better 3-show sets that we've been a part of all year.
Yeah, but it's because we stopped watching SmackDown.
Listen. I don't even know what that show is. I've never heard of SmackDown. We just pretend like it doesn't exist.
Heard of SmackDown post like 2010.
I haven't heard of SmackDown post October of 2025. Never heard of the show.
There you go. God, and they're gonna make it 3 hours. Those idiots, dude.
Unless they completely
show it 2 hours.
Unless they completely shake up the actual wrestlers from between shows, they're not going to be able to hold people's attention for 3 hours. It's a terrible idea.
You know what I'm not looking forward to? Saturday night's main event.
I am. Now, am I looking forward to?
Match is about it, and I don't even really care about that, honestly.
The good news is we get to watch it on YouTube, so we won't even get the commercials. It's exciting.
It's true. That is true.
A couple things I did want to talk about. They actually put together a commercial for this Saturday's show, or maybe actually I don't think it was this Saturday's show. I think it's it's a combination of this Saturday's show and then their holiday Dynamite next week.
The taped one where they're the one they're. What are you talking about? The one from overseas?
Well, so the commercial specifically was on Twitter. I don't think they showed it on TV.
Oh, okay.
And it's, you know, the little kid from the Big Boom, AJ, whatever, the little kid that's with them.
I'm glad I didn't see it. Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I could care less now.
It's not as annoying as you think it would be. He's looking for a new Santa for something, and they're going through, and he's doing. Wrestlers are coming through and trying out to be the new Santa, and it starts off with Bandito, and he's wearing a Christmas hat, and he's spouting a bunch of shit in Spanish, and he uses his finger guns and stuff, and the kid's like, too happy. And then the next one that shows up is like Brody King, and he's going, ho, 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 instead of barking. And the kid's like, too scary. We do get the egregious. His friends show up, and they drop a boom or whatever. And he's like, oh, hi, guys. And then they move on to the next one. And they go through a couple of them. And like one of them is even like Toni Storm. She's like, she looks at the thing, and she goes, oh, I know a couple of those, because ho-ho-hos. And the kid goes, too suggestive. And it finally stops. The one that gets the role is Orange Cassidy, and he just looks at the script and he goes, "Ho." He goes, "That's it. That's the one. That's the one we're gonna use."
The one ho man.
It was a fun commercial, and I like to see that they've been doing these commercials. They had one for Thanksgiving as well. That was really fun, where Bryan Danielson invited several of the wrestlers over to his house for Thanksgiving.
Oh yay, vegan Thanksgiving.
Funny enough, I don't think he's vegan anymore.
That's usually not something you just stop doing. But
I don't think he eats as much meat, but I don't think he's fully vegan anymore.
Either way.
Yeah, no, he's not fully vegan at the moment. He maintains a plant-based diet, but he's no longer strictly vegan due to difficulties with finding sufficient non-soy vegan protein.
Yeah, protein is important.
But yeah. So then the other thing I want to talk about, I actually meant to bring this up Monday. I didn't think about it until for some reason it popped in my head again today. So there's a wrestler for AEW and a wrestler for WWE that have the exact same theme song now.
What?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
So it's Monet and Gunther.
Oh, I know. They're different, but they start out very similar.
Well, yeah. So this isn't about like the internet's talking about it. This is some shit that I laughed about. So obviously, Monet's is an actual rap song that somebody else has put together for her. And she uses it. Whereas Walter's is one made up by Def Rebel. And the thing that people don't realize, because there had been conversations before, and the thing that people don't realize is the song that it's actually based off of is an old classical song that has been sampled.
Sure.
Now, with that being,
that's why it only starts out. It starts out the same at the beginning.
With that being said, I really, really want, for shits and giggles, for a WWE crowd at some point to start chanting CEO during his fucking entrance. I think it would be fantastic.
I did it when he was wrestling on Raw this past week when me and Kristen were watching it. Because I always like to say, instead of CEO, I always say, "My name's Joe. My name's Joe." And I started doing that when he came out.
Well, a part of my problem with WWE, with all of their insane amount of commercials, is you go to the Royal Rumble like we did, and none of us knew who like hardly anybody's theme song was at first.
No, nobody's got any kind of recognizable music anymore. But it's all generic sounding, and it all sounds similar.
But I also feel it's not just that. If you actually sit down and look and watch as the commercial breaks happen, somebody always makes their entrance during a commercial break and we don't even get to see it. It always happens. Almost every single match, the first person comes out, you watch their entrance, and then it goes to commercial break, and when it comes back, the other person has already made it to the ring. Like, how can you expect anybody to really start getting into somebody's theme song if you're not going to show their entrances?
Well, it's not like they have 3-hour shows or anything.
Right.
Well, the problem is exactly what we've been saying. They would rather fill that time with advertisements and make a bunch of fucking money off of it instead of actually advertising the wrestlers. Because it's not about the wrestlers anymore. It's about the brand. The brand is what everybody tunes in for, not the wrestlers.
Right.
In their mind.
But yeah, that's all I had. I really do hope to see a crowd chant CEO during Gunther's entrance one day. It would be fucking hilarious to me.
Yeah, because hers goes into the CEO chant, and his goes into the. Yeah.
All right, guys, that's gonna do it. Join us. So Friday, we're obviously not covering SmackDown. If Joe has watched it by then, him and I will record our video for Slamboree. If not, we'll find a time next week.
Yeah, we may have to find a time next week. I've been sick for almost a week now, and I haven't made any time to do anything because, like I'm going to do after this, I'm going to take NyQuil and I'm going to go to freaking sleep.
Right. I did get the last match watched today, so I'm ready.
Yeah.
And boy, that was rough. That was rough. Listen.
Well, the mega powers weren't exploding for you?
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't think people not being able to throw punches is a new problem.
Oh no, no.
I was watching
there's
Hogan.
Very few,
and I was
there's
like,
very few people who throw good punches.
I was like, Hogan's sloppy.
Historically,
Hogan is sloppy, man.
Hogan always looked like he punched his own hand because he always had his other hand on their head.
Right. It was him and Vader, dude. Oh my God. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it off screen, so that we don't ruin anybody's chances of watching the thing and being surprised by our opinions. Anyways, we love y'all. We'll talk to y'all.
Actually a 30-year-old show almost.
Yeah,
30 years
30
old.
years. 30 years. Over 30.
Look at that.
All right, guys. With that being said, we love y'all. We'll talk to you next time. Deuces.
Later.